Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Football Manager 2024 as we continue our Road to Glory run with FARSLEY Celtic in the Premier League. We had a very, very good start to our Premier League journey here. We actually survived. Not only did we survive, we're in very strongly mid-table, very secure at the moment at least, but we definitely got some work to do if we want to improve, and honestly probably work to do if we want to at least stay where we're at. So let's go ahead and get right into the episode. We'll see the end of season review, and then we'll get into the transfer window. So here we go. End of season review for the 2032-2033 season. So not too bad. Took us what, 9 years to get here? 8 years? 9 years? So really good run here. Here we go. Who's our signing of the season? Brett Wiley. Okay, yeah, I would say so. He just barely missed a 7.0 rating. 18 goals on 36 total appearances. Pretty good. Got it for 6 mil. Pretty good. Al Amri didn't do near as good, although we've only played 13 total games himself. We're definitely going to have to reevaluate who's going to be the future, who we signed on that maybe isn't going to be sticking around for very long, things like that. We're just definitely going to be taking a look at a bunch of things. So some good players here. I don't know if there's any reason to jump through too many of these, but definitely disappointed in Hurtado. Morrow seemed like he did all right. Song Fei did really well. We're going to have him permanently. So some good players there, but definitely some players that need to grow and get better. Transfers out. Anybody just atrociously bad? I don't think so. I think most of these were pretty good transfers overall. Our biggest one was Jurgensen here on 7.75 mil. And then we had a few loan outs as well. And we'll see what happens with those guys. Some of these guys are going to probably get sold on. Things of that nature. All right, season results. Obviously, we actually had 100% total attendance the entire time. We are building a new stadium. It's about double the capacity of the one we got now. But I think that even that's going to be too small once it's all said and done. But we did attempt to avoid relegation from Premier Division. We did that, 12th place. So not quite top half, but very solidly mid-table here. Obviously, top goal scorer was Brett Wiley. And, of course, the board was very happy with that. FA Cup, I wish we could have done better. We should have gotten past Derby County, to be perfectly honest. But that's all right. Not really a priority for us. A priority for us was to survive the Premier League. From this point forward, we definitely need to do better, though. And then, of course, we did not do super great in the Carabao Cup. But again, not super concerned about that in the grand scheme of things. Biggest win was a 5-2 win over Doncaster. Match to remember was a 2-1 victory over Brighton. And then, of course, the goal of the season came against Liverpool. 5-3 victory over Liverpool. It was Friday picking up that one. I guess we'll go take a look at that goal. Actually, several goals in this game. Several goals for both sides in this game. Our entire front four played well in this game. I could definitely see an argument for us considering moving around our formation at some point. But for now, we're going to stick with what we got for now until we really feel like we need to. Wiley with the ball here. There we go. There's another goal. Friday's goal was this one, I believe. So we'll see that here in just a moment. Too easy. And here comes the Friday goal here. I mean, not the most exciting goal, but, you know, it's all right. It was a good goal. I feel like we've had more exciting goals of the season. Oh, I need to go back. We'll go back this way. There we go. Other than that, let's go look at the finances. So, still 3-star reputation, no new sponsorships or anything like that. Although apparently our sponsorship did go up a little bit. Obviously, broadcast revenue is a big part of where we got most of our money, and competition prize money. That combination right there is so much money. Then corporate hospitality and matchday commercial both kind of stayed the same, more or less. We got 1.16 in merchandise sales. That's pretty good. 12,000 shirts sold. Al Amri was number 1. Really? McClellan, Ramirez, Macha, and Wiley. Of course, Wiley's in there. Macha, yeah, okay. Looks good. And here's how we lined up. McClellan in goal, Friday on the left, Moore on the right, Stone and Mwamba in the middle, Macha Holder ahead of them, Ramirez and Fong Song Fei on the outer wings, and Grant and Wiley up front. Yeah, and all of these guys are now permanent. Both Grant and Fei are part of our team now. We did get Skybet Championship Manager of the Season last year. Good stuff there. Our fan player of the season was Brett Wiley. Young player of the season was Brett Wiley. Signing of the season was Brett Wiley. Goal of the season was Sunday Friday. We saw that. Us also got the best name. Top goal scorer was Brett Wiley, of course. Most assists was Callum Grant. He did get 8 assists, so even though he wasn't really getting the goals, he was helping facilitate goals. Most player of the match awards was Brett Wiley. Highest average rating was Brett Wiley. He has been apparently a really good pickup for us. And then most passes was Tom Stone. Most league goals by a player, Edward Bennett, 65 goals. Interesting that shows up in this record this year. And then highest transfer fee received was Jurgensen, 7.8 mil. Your hard work and effort paid off on the pitch, and such a feat didn't go unrewarded at the end of our season, at our end of season award ceremony. They say it's important to get off to a good start, but it's three stress ever for Farsley this season. Yeah, okay. Spell of football at the start of the season was making, we did all right in the beginning. And then, definitely in the middle, we were kind of winning, losing, winning, losing, winning, losing. So that obviously nets you some good points overall. I'm pretty happy with things, I think. 3 trophies, 5 major awards. All right, so that was that. Farsley side of 2026, where are they now? Anybody here that we care about? Let's see, who was the one? Andrew Connolly, playing for Blackpool. And Connolly still could be a 3-star player based on our current ratings. That's impressive. And then James Jones, of course. We know him. And then Finley Heath, yeah, okay. There's some good players in this list that we've had over the years. Dermot Mee, of course, goalkeeper. And Aaron Ojungu. Yeah, several of these guys did some good stuff for us over the years, so it's good to see some of that. Bunch more followers, 251,000. We've gained 50% more followers. Club vision expectations: play attacking football, play possession football, make the most of set pieces, play entertaining football, play high tempo pressing football, work within the wage budget, which we did. And then they want us to attempt to avoid relegation from the Premier League. They want us to continue to attempt to avoid relegation from the Premier League for quite some time, which is a fair assessment. I mean, yeah, should we do better than that? Of course we should, but we're not going to press the board until we really get secure, and then they accept that. Really? See, this is where it gets touchy, because I'm kind of nervous here. I think we're good enough to get not really. Come on, guys. What? Boo. All right. That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate end of season, but that's okay. We'll just have to prove to our own team that they're better than they think they are. Training camp. I mean, yeah, let's just come back to the United States. I come back, see some family. And then I don't care about the vice captain right now because things are going to be changing. All right, let's take a look at our team. So 100%, anybody below a 6.6 just needs to go out the door. Unless they have 5-star potential, essentially. Clemenco, I think I would even hold on to him because he really didn't get much of a chance to prove himself. So I would say Crocker goes and Dan's goes. And I think they're both already listed. You're listed for loan. You're not. Okay. So Crocker and Dan's. In fact, I'm going to write some of these down because I want to make sure I keep up with these guys. Oh, wow. I have one piece of paper left in my notebook. I'm going to get a new notebook now. So Crocker and Dan's are both on the chopping block for sure. Clemenco, just because he's got potential. Garbo, because he's got potential. Cuevas got potential. Okay, so that's fine. Tom Stone, he's above a 6.6 average and 4-star potential. We might consider holding on to him for a little bit longer. But I think it's time for Olsen to leave. Olsen needs to go bye-bye. Rasmussen sticks. Montgomery's on a 6.66. He's apparently a very evil person. I think it's time for him to leave as well. He's already listed. We're going to see if we can get Montgomery out the door as well. Okay. And then Grant's only down to a 4-star, but we'll stick with 4-star for someone. I think he's better than this number shows. He trains really well. And I think he just had a bad end of the season. I think he was actually better than that overall. Ramirez, same thing. He's above 6.7. He's got 4-star potential. We're going to hold on to him a little bit longer. Macha, we're definitely holding on to 5-star potential. Huffer sitting on 4-star possible potential. And the 3 games we played him, 6.73. We definitely need to get him out on training. Or on loan, probably. I would say anybody that's 4-star from this point forward really need to consider keeping around a little bit longer. Not because they're going to be like our long-term future, but because they are going to help us be in a good place now while we continue to build the 5-star players around them. And I guess that's what we're looking for. And of course, as we get more and more 5-star players, everybody's just going to look average, right? Like the star ratings are based on your team average. And as we get more and more of these guys, the team is just going to look kind of... So basically what I'm getting at is these guys that are 4-star are probably a good settling point for us. Like, that's probably means they're good players. You know what I mean? At least for our level, for where we're at. McLaughlin can stay. Munz might need to leave. Not so much that he's not got potential, he's not a good player, but because we can get some good value for him. He's actually played well enough that I think we can possibly get some money for him. Obviously, Song Fei sticks around. We just got him. Moro, I don't know about Moro. I think Moro potentially leaves. And then McGinty for sure leaves. Actually, any of these guys about to expire here, 2033? No. Nope. Okay. Hurtado, dude. I need better from Hurtado. I mean, his average rating is 6.8. Looks good. But he had some big-time mess-ups and mistakes. He's got some good training. And he's played pretty well. So you know what? We're going to hope for the best for him. McDonald. Is it time to let go of McDonald? What? Have we outgrown McDonald? That is crazy to think about, but I think we have. I think we've outgrown McDonald. And then Chai Holder. Have we outgrown Chai Holder? Only 3.5-star player? I mean, if we got 20 mil or even if we got 15 mil for Chai Holder, I think we would take it because I think we can bring in some better players around him or players that have more potential long term. Mwamba, I'm glad to see him still on this list. Douglas, we're going to stick around with him for a while longer with his 4-star potential. Al Amri, of course, we're going to stick around with him. And Wiley, of course, we're going to stick with him. So I think we're good with this list. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players that are on this list to try to sell off. And then we're just going to try and get some more players to come into them. Now, we do have some players coming in already. Obviously, we know about Faye and Grant. But we do have 3 guys that can play a striker. More than likely, what's going to happen is these guys are just going to go out on loan, and we're going to see what they develop into, and then maybe sell them on for something more later. So I'm not saying that these guys are going to be the guys that we keep to play, but they're just guys that might have some potential that we can groom, and then that's it. You know, if all we did is groom them for a little bit, then we're okay with that. So not really counting for much for any of these guys. None of these guys have great first finishing or anything like that. So they're just kind of exist to hopefully turn into more money later. But that's where we're at. And of course, we've got 48 mil in the transfer budget right now. And unlike our streaming save, not to spoil much, but obviously if you've been watching my streaming save, we are playing a team that has massive negative balances. So we've been having hundreds of millions of pounds of transfer budget that we've just let sit there and rot because we don't have the money to spend it. Whereas with this team, we know we're going to get way more money next year. So we can spend every single penny of this transfer budget without really any fear. So in fact, even our debt, we've only got 10 mil in transfer debt right now. That is nothing comparatively. We could pay that off easily with what we got in the bank. So I think we can run up some more transfer debt as well. All right, well, that's the plan. We got to go get some more players. We got to get some more players to replace these guys, really look at the team and see what's going to make this team turn into something good next year. So I'm going to go away and do that. I will bring you guys back when there's something to talk about. All right, we're back. We have done some business, some transfers for sure. We got some money. We got 46 mil in the bank. I would love to have this problem with my live stream save. But anyway, we spent pretty much all the transfer budget that we had. We got a little bit more came in, but not much because honestly, most of the transfer money just went right into the bank account. We actually haven't quite maxed out the wage budget, but that's all right as well. So we've done quite a bit. But really not much left. I mean, we could move some things around, maybe get one more player, maybe. But honestly, I'm not expecting too much there. But let's go look at the transfers and let's go look at the history. And before we look at this month's or this year's, let's look at last year's. So we did sell some players there at the end of the year. You can't really see behind my head. Let me move over to the other side. We did sell McClellan here for 12.5 mil. I don't think he was going to be our future. Now we bought him for 12 mil, sold him for 12.5, so we broke even on him. Not really a huge maybe gain there necessarily, but we have Hurtado, and I think Hurtado is going to develop into a good player. Plus, we went ahead and picked up a slightly cheaper goalkeeper that can kind of maybe take the reins if Hurtado starts to struggle early on, and we'll see how that goes. So we got some money from McClellan. I think Hurtado is going to be more of our future than McClellan will be. Maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's not. We'll find out. And then as far as coming in, you guys saw the 3 youngsters that we had. Cameron Price comes in here. He looks worse now because of some other players we picked up, by the way, just for the record. These guys were all like 4.5, 5-star players when we picked them up, but they look a little bit worse because we picked up some other players that have balanced some things out. So those 3 we already knew about. In addition to those 3, we picked up 2 other players right away, right before the end of the season there, or right after the end of the season, I should say. We've got Oh Il Woo, 4-star current ability, could be 5-star potential player. We picked him up for, what, 1.5 mil or something like that? We got him for basically nothing. So even if he just becomes a flop, which he probably won't be, we're going to be good there. Because he's got great work rate, great determination, great anticipation, good technique. He's got good stamina. And 6'4", he's going to be a good player. 6'4" for someone in South Korea, that's insane. He's going to be a good player to be in our midfield. Unfortunately, he doesn't know how to play defensive midfield yet. So we're training him as a defensive midfielder. We've done this process a few times where we pick up a player that maybe plays a position we don't quite use, but we know he's got an adjacent position, you know, we can bring him in. So he's a wonder kid coming in here. Looks really, really solid. I think he's going to be a great player for us. We'll find out. And then we spent some money on a guy. Honestly, I spent some money on this guy just because he had the same name as one of our other guys. Tochukwu Friday comes in here. 19-year-old right back. 3.5-star current ability. Could be as high as 5-star wonder kid. Spent a lot of money on him. I'm not going to lie. I did spend a lot of money on him. 24.5 mil. Maybe it was a mistake, but I wanted to have him because of his name. And why? Because obviously on the other side, we have Sunday Friday. So now we have a Friday on both sides. I just thought it was funny. There's no reason. Actually, this new Friday is better than the last Friday. So we will see if that actually plays out or not. He's actually listed as what? Actually, him and Il Woo are both listed as 2 of our best players on the team right now. So I think he could end up being a pretty decent player. Again, wonder kid. He's got a lot of potential. We shall see what he can do. He didn't play very well for Reading last year for 32 games, so he's already played some Premier League experience. But in League 1, he played well. You know, we're just going to let him develop up. Maybe a massive mistake considering how poorly he played. But I couldn't pass up the dude just because I wanted to do Fridays. I thought it was funny. Whatever. Make a point and laugh at me if it all burns and goes down. But I got to do crazy stuff every once in a while, or else what's the point? And then we're coming to this season, and we have sold a few players. We have sold McGinty. Let me move back over to the other side. I guess I'll stay over there because I just realized it does go past my head. We sold McGinty. We sold Chai Holder for 18.5 mil. We sold Morrow for 6.5. Dan's, Olsen are both gone. Hubin's gone. Botson's gone. A couple guys gone on loan. Simon DeBoer has gone out for 15.25 mil. Chukwuma left for 3.6 mil. Remington left for 2.1 mil. So a lot of guys that got us here are now gone, which is crazy. Obviously, Chai Holder was a guy that we really liked a lot, but we just didn't feel like Chai Holder had the potential that we were looking for long term. And now again, we were at like 0% wage transfer retention when a lot of these guys sold off, which is fine. We didn't need to flip them for more money. Hopefully we get more money next season. But and honestly, I didn't notice that once I sold Chai Holder, but I did. And I was able to bump it up to 20% retention when we sold some of these other guys. So we got a little bit more money coming back towards the end there. All right, here's the transfer at the end. Excuse me, sorry about the yawn. First up, we got a new Cuevas. We have 2 Cuevases now. This is a striker Cuevas. 15 finishing, 16 dribbling, 12 first touch. Not too bad. 6 foot tall. His heading's only 8. His jumping reach is only 12 for someone as tall as he is. But otherwise, he looks pretty decent. He has, and the other big reason we brought him in is because he's Argentinian. And by being Argentinian, he was able to make our other Cuevas safe. So we now have 2 Cuevases and 2 Fridays. Reasons. But our other Cuevas is now happy because we brought in another Argentinian to make him feel comfortable. So that solved a problem there. Here's our goalkeeper we brought in, 33-year-old Portuguese goalkeeper. We paid like 8 mil or something like that for him. He looks solid. He's definitely a little bit better than Hurtado right now. He's probably better than McClellan was when he left. But he's not going to be a guy for the future, obviously. So we definitely want Hurtado to develop into something. We'll see what he can do. So this guy, he comes in here just to fill that spot for now or to rotate with Hurtado, whatever we decide to do. Obviously, we picked up Callan Grant for under $1 million. We already knew about him. Song Fei, we picked up for 15 mil. I don't know. Maybe that was a mistake. 3.5 star current, I mean, he played okay last season. And I definitely think we could ultimately sell him for at least break-even money someday if we decided to do that. But, maybe we overpaid for him. When we got him, he looked really, really good. But as we've brought in some of these other better and better players, he looks maybe less and less good. Who knows? And then we brought in Aguirre, Jose Luis Aguirre. Comes in here 4.2 mil from Mexico. He comes in here as a good solid striker, 15, 15, and 12 on the dribbling first touch, finishing first touch. 5'11", so a little bit shorter than the other guy. 11 jumping reach, 11 heading. Nothing crazy here, but he's going to come in here potentially as our best striker actually at the moment. And, he played all right in the Mexican First Division. So we'll see what he can do, see if he can make the step up or not. Is he listed as a Warner kid? He's not listed as a Warner kid, but that's okay. Are any of these other guys listed as Warner kids? No. And we already know about the other guys. And then finally, we picked up Yaroslav here. Yaroslav comes in here, 4 mil up front, 4.8 mil up on the high end. Czech player. He's got 4 under 21 caps. He's already potentially worth a lot of money. We brought him in because we didn't have anybody that could play the attacking midfield on the left-hand side behind or ahead of Ramirez, whichever way we decided to play it. And even though it's not his primary spot, because we're playing inside forward on that left-hand side, and the fact that he's a right footer should make him work really, really well for us. But again, he comes in here from, he's a Czech player for us. So he looks all right. He's already worth potentially more than we paid for him. So we'll find out if that actually comes out to be. So we did pick up a few new kids. Is he listed as a Wonder Kid? No, he's not. So a couple guys that we have that look good, not listed as true Wonder Kids, but we did pick up a couple Wonder Kids at the end of last season, like I said, Ilwu and Friday. So I think it's a pretty good piece of business. Yeah, we spent, a decent amount of money, a couple, some big money on a couple players like Song Fei, but I think we've got a pretty good team. And here's what it's going to basically look like. We got Hurtado or Valito. For Hurtado, if we want to play the potential side of things like we've been doing. But Valito obviously can come in there as needed. On the left side, we got Cuevas and Sunday Friday behind him. Sunday Friday might be the type of player that eventually leaves on. I mean, we've already got a Friday. We've got a better Friday. Maybe we don't need this Friday. But he might eventually move on because his potential is starting to show that he's not going to be quite as good as we had hoped. But at least for now, this season, we should be all right. On the right-hand side, we obviously have Wonder Kid, Mr. Friday here. Clemenco right behind him as well. And then McDonald's still hanging around. We tried to sell him. If somebody comes in for him, cool. If not, no worries. We shall see. But we'll try to get him out the door if we can. If not, he'll be here for us. In the center back roles, we got Mwamba as our primary, with Garba right behind him and Rasmussen right behind him. So 3 really good players that still have a lot of potential. Stone and Lloyd are still hanging about, but they are definitely not going to be long for us overall. Defensive midfield. Okay, here's where things are going to get a little interesting. We have Ilwu, of course, Wonder Kid. We're going to keep retraining him there in that spot. We're going to try Al Emery here in the defensive midfield. We know he can play there. And actually, as of right now, he's potentially one of our best, if not our best, defensive midfielder. The reason we're going to play him there is partly because of that, but also because we do have a lot of strikers in that can fill that spot in lieu of him there. His finishing was 14. We have several guys that have 15 finishing, much better dribbling, things like that. So the fact that he's got good anticipation, good decisions, good determination, teamwork's good. He actually might be a really good defensive midfielder, honestly. So we're going to give him a shot there this season, see what he does, and kind of go from there. But Ilwu is our primary. Al Emery is our secondary. Macha, Mons, and Montgomery right behind him. Obviously, Macha is the only other one that we really care about long term. Mons and Montgomery. Sorry, good to see you on tonight. Mons and Montgomery, if they can move on, cool. If not, we'll keep them for as long as we can. If we have to choose between them, we'll probably keep Mons and maybe sell Montgomery. But honestly, having both of them here as rotation is fine because obviously people do get injured. All right, left winger. Our primary is going to be Yaroslav, a new Czech guy that we brought in with Ramirez right behind him. We do have a Gamble here. We brought in technically as a striker, but his finishing's not that great. So honestly, if we can leave him as a guy on the left wing, that actually might be a better fit for him long term. We'll see how he develops, but he technically is here if we need him. On the right-hand side, we have McLaughlin and Song Fei. I haven't really decided how I'm going to flip-flop these. I might play Song Fei as primary since we don't really know how McLaughlin's going to develop. But again, these guys were 5-star at one point, and then we brought in other players that are better, and now their potential has shrunk down a little bit. So did they suddenly get worse? No. We just, as the average goes up for our team, which it has, some of these guys don't look as good as they did a year ago. And then finally up front, we have Aguirre, Cuevas, and Wiley as our primary three, probably. Obviously, Wiley, we know, can play really, really well. He's did good things for us last season. 6.96 overall on 17 goals. So probably what he probably needs to do is he's probably going to be our primary above Cuevas even though Cuevas theoretically is better right this second. They're both 5-star potential. So I think we might do something like this because we know Wiley's a proven commodity, right? But I think Aguirre maybe takes the lead here. And then we've got Grant right behind them. Obviously, we know he can play. With Henson and Gamble, our two youngsters, available here. Actually, you know what? Gamble's there as well. Let's bring Gamble off of this list. Because if we play him, we'll see where he plays. But I just kind of want to have 5 players here in this list. All right, so that's what we're looking at. Pretty decent team. I think it is a little bit of a better team than we had last year. Maybe. Although Chai Holder being gone, that's going to be something we're going to have to deal with. Obviously, our goalkeeper being gone. We'll have to see how that plays out. But as far as preview, I mean, we're still dead last, right? You would expect that. We're still very much dead last. It's probably going to be that way for quite some time, honestly. We'll see. I mean, truth be told, if we get relegated this year, are we really, like, super disappointed? I don't know that we're super disappointed because we've still built up. We've already accomplished what we needed to do by getting into the Premier League, and that is build this giant nest egg of money. I mean, giant for our standards, obviously not giant maybe by some of the higher ups, but a really big nest egg of money here that we can then build off of and continue to get more and more players coming in and see where that kind of takes us. So ideally, I mean, obviously we'd love to survive again this season. If we don't, it's not the end of the world. We can come right back up and we've got that money to be able to do that. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know. I actually have no idea. I honestly didn't expect us to be mid-table last year. So hopefully we're pleasantly surprised again this year. But we have done a lot of changes in the team. So we'll see what that looks like. Overall dynamics, managerial support's high. Club atmosphere is a little bit low. Probably because Cuevas is unhappy. I don't know. I don't even know what we promised him. I have no idea what we promised him. I thought we promised him. Yeah, we promised him that we bring a player to settle. And we got the message that said, thank you for bringing a player to help me settle. Maybe he's still mad about the first time we broke that promise because we didn't get it the first time around because I couldn't get one in. But we did get one this time, right? And then he did give us a thank you. So a little surprised that that's still on there. And then McDonald is not happy about the fact that I'm trying to sell him on. So we shall see. We'll see. Hopefully that doesn't get too bad. All right. Well, that's where we're at, guys. I think I'm happy with the team. I think it's going to be fun. I mean, who are we bringing in the first game here? I haven't even decided. I mean, I guess, truth be told, I needed to kind of go through my stuff. I'll set up the guys for the next game. First game is going to be against Arsenal. So it's going to be a tough game. Honestly, our first 2 games, very likely going to be losses, quite frankly. Even our Carabao Cup game against Leicester here, even though they're in the Champions League, could be, or Championship, sorry, Sky Bet Championship, could be a loss as well. We might not win until we get down to Bournemouth or something. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of tough teams here early on. Hopefully we get some surprises. We shall see. We didn't play anybody of any import in the preseason. So we did get a bunch of wins. The only team that we played of any level was Amiens here, who we have played as in on the channel before years ago in one of my Glory Hunter runs. We played as Amiens. It was kind of fun. So, all right, there we go, guys. Let me know what you think. Second season in the Premier League. Can we? I mean, all we got to do is just repeat and stay mid-table. Stay mid-table for a few seasons until we can kind of build up the right team, see which Wonder Kids are going to be good, see which ones are going to be bad, filter through those and keep holding on to the good ones. And slowly but surely, the team will get slightly better and better and better. We shall see. But I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye. I wanted to give a special shout out to the following channel members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.